Focused and fearless, here's everything you need to know this rush hour of July 10, Wednesday. I'm Riza Diaz. Kickstarting today's rush with 3-year-old Maika Ulpina, who is finally laid to rest. Recall that she was the subject of Senator Bato de la Rosa's "shit happens" remark after she was killed in an anti-drug operation in Rodriguez, Rizal. Now, Maika's family is crying for justice, not only for them but also for other innocent victims of the drug war. Greg Gregorio has the report.
The remains of 3-year-old Maika Ulpina have been laid to rest at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Rodriguez, Rizal. The grieving family wore t-shirts bearing the words "Justice for Maika" and holding up a banner saying "Stop the Killings." Maika's grandmother, who refused to be identified, told us that Maika dreamed of being a policewoman someday.
Yun ang kinukwento niya pagka tinatanong namin.
Kaso?
Ayan, wala. May nangyari nga sa kanya yan. Hindi namin akalain na ganun nga. Yung pangarap niya, yun din ang kikitil sa buhay niya.
On June 29, the police also killed the suspect in an anti-drug operation. It was Maika's father, Renato Ulpina. Police said Maika died after being used as a human shield. Her grandmother belied such claim. She also felt dismayed by the response of former police chief and now Senator Bato de la Rosa to the incident when he quipped "shit happens." De la Rosa already apologized for trying to defend the tragic result earlier, but the family still seeks justice.
Hindi po tama yun. Na hindi sasabihin niya na aksidente. Hindi po tama yun. Alam nilang may bata sana. Dapat pinalabas na lang muna bago nila pinaputukan yung tukoy nila na tao.
Her grandmother says police operations similar to incidents that led to Maika's death must stop to prevent more innocent deaths. Priests and human rights groups join this call.
Hindi natin dapat sayangin ang buhay ng bawat isa. Tama na. Sobra na. Ilang pa bang mamamatay para maantig?
Ano naman ang Ressa, itigil yung pamamaslang eh. At ang nakakaano dito, may mga bata, may mga kabataan na nadadama.
PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde has ordered the National Police officials to take over the probe from the Police Region 4 and conclude findings soon. The Makabayan Bloc has filed House Resolution number 41 to conduct an inquiry into Maika's death. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Rappler CEO Maria Ressa is now getting a backup from international human rights lawyer Amal Clooney amid the string of cases filed against her. Malacanang remains unfazed and unaffected, though saying Mrs. Clooney has been misinformed on the matter. Amal, who specializes in human rights and international law, will lead an international legal team and will work closely with lawyers from the U.S. and the Philippines. She called Ressa a courageous journalist who is being persecuted for standing up to human rights abuses in the country. Amal says they will exhaust all legal means to help Ressa. Palace, meanwhile, thinks Ressa needs all the help that she can get.
Naghahanap lang sila ng katapat ko. Kasi palagi pag kaming dalawa nagdidebate ni Maria, medyo kawawa naman. Kasi hindi naman siya abogado.
Panelo says the quote, "beautiful and sexy Amal may be needed or may need to be educated on Ressa's situation and that he will be more than happy to help." At least 9 cases have been filed against Ressa and Rappler's directors. These include cyber libel, tax evasion, and security fraud.
Isa mo, nabola niya lang si Attorney Amal. Misinformed kasi si Attorney Amal. Siguro pag nakita kami, I can, to use the word of the President, educate her. I'm excited to debate with her.
Ressa, meanwhile, welcomes the turn of events, saying the support from their international councils will help shine a light on the media situation in the Philippines. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno Dumagoso may be on a roll in fixing the streets of his city, but it looks like his problems won't stop there since he inherited over 141 million pesos in questionable transactions from former Mayor Erap Estrada's term. Romel Lopez with the story.
In his second week as Manila Mayor, Isko Moreno revealed a report from the Commission on Audit regarding 141 million pesos in questionable expenses by the previous administration. Based on the COA audit report, the administration had 42 million pesos in suspensions, 67 million in disallowances, and another 31 million pesos in charges. The audit was conducted from April 1 this year until June 30, 2019, Joseph Estrada's last day at the Manila City Hall. The former president's camp has yet to comment on the issue. Moreno promises to go after current and former city officials involved in the anomalous spending.
If there is a proof that there is graft or abuse on their part during the time of their they're in public service or public office, criminal charges will be filed against them.
Meanwhile, in a meeting with the Manila City School Board, Isko ordered the removal of names and images of what he called politicos in the school grounds.
Pinabubura ko, pinatatanggal ko, ultimo, pangalan ko, at pangalan ng mga politiko. Huwag natin politikahin ang ating paaralan. It is not our money. Pera yan ng taong bayan. Kaya sabi ko sa kanila, walang epal sa pader ng eskwelahan.
He said same order will be issued to clinics and health centers owned by the city. In Quiapo, vendors are slowly returning to the areas around the Quiapo Church. They are careful not to cross the blue line, which they say marks the area where they cannot sell their goods.
Kami nagkaisa na nagguhit yan para importante rito kasi yung daan po kasi mas mahirap naman yung mawalan kami. Diba? Tanggapin na namin na kahit kapraso meron kami.
But Moreno says he has no knowledge about the implementation of the Blue Line scheme.
Organized based on the policy of the city. What's that? Bigyan nyo ng madadaanan ng tao, makadadaan ng tao, panatiliin ninyo malinis ang inyong mga panindahan, huwag nyong uukupahan ang lugar na hindi pinapayagan.
For News 5, Romel Lopez, we are One News.
Outgoing House Speaker Gloria Arroyo has no less than President himself guest in her farewell dinner on Tuesday. There, they brushed up on their shared history together and even Duterte's role in her release from detention. Ria Fernandez has the story.
No less than President Rodrigo Duterte graced the appreciation dinner for former Speaker Gloria Arroyo at a hotel in Manila on Tuesday night. In her speech, the former president noted how Duterte supported her when she was an undersecretary for trade up to the time she entered politics. She also cited Duterte's help in her candidacies. But most importantly, she thanked Duterte for being the key to her release from detention.
I thank you that when you became president, you provided the atmosphere in which the court had the freedom to acquit me of the trumped-up charges of my successor and your predecessor, so that the court voted 11-4 in my favor, including half of those who were appointed by my successor.
Meanwhile, President Duterte joked about returning Arroyo to jail when she refused to pick her choice for the next speaker.
Sabi ko, we will ask the Speaker Arroyo to choose who among you. Tapos nung sinabi nila, ma'am, ikaw daw, she was quite also not comfortable, kept on saying things na, hindi, kayo. Kaya nung sabi ko, naghintay ako mo, sabi ko, ma'am, kung hindi ka mamili ng speaker ngayon, hulihin kita. Balik kita doon sa kulungan. So, what for? That was a joke.
Nevertheless, Duterte revealed how he worked for Arroyo.
Even when I was mayor, and for the years that President Arroyo was there, I was really working for her. Of course, wala akong pinatay na tao na utos niya. Pinatay ko na lang kasi feeling ko gusto niya.
Before eating dinner, Duterte serenaded Arroyo with an OPM song titled Ikaw. As early as August last year, Arroyo mentioned that she's retiring after almost 3 decades in politics. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Meanwhile, here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Mina Chang is set to be named as Washington's next top diplomat in the Philippines. The Philippine Star reports that Chang works as a Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Bureau of Conflict and Stabilization Operations and has extensive experience in conflict areas like Afghanistan, Iraq, and Nigeria. Once appointed, Chang will replace current U.S. Ambassador Sung Kim and will be the second female ambassador to the Philippines after Christy Kenny. Notebooks and history books from the Provincial School Board were retrieved from a junk shop in Barangay Canduman, Mandaue City last Friday. The school items were recovered after the Cebu Provincial General Services Office received a tip from a concerned citizen. The supplies are for grades 3 and 4 students, which include 200 sets of notebooks, and grade 3 students worth almost 9,000 pesos and 584 sets for grade 4 students worth more than 25,000 pesos. Meanwhile, at least 135 of the books found were about the history of the cities and municipalities in Cebu. The Philippine General Services Office tells the Freeman that they have already identified the PSB employee who sold the school supplies in the junk shop for only a peso per kilo. However, it is still unclear if the employee worked alone. Partygoers beware, a gin called Cosmic Carabao is poisonous. The Food and Drug Administration has confirmed that, or this after the drink was found to be high contains of methanol. Filipino Star ngayon reports that methanol is used as a chemical in household products and aircraft fuel. As of now, the FDA has ordered the seizure of all Cosmic Carabao gin products in the market and its raw materials from its manufacturer, One Brewing. The LTFRB is now vowing to make franchise application for the ride-sharing community easier and faster. That's after having a dialogue with TNVS groups. However, the transport agency won't be stopping apprehensions of colorum units anytime soon. Gerald De La Peña with the details.
Officials of the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board faced groups of Transport Network Vehicle Service groups in a dialogue. The TNVS community were given the chance to air their sentiments on the slow processing of franchises and the unclear list of requirements. The LTFRB made the commitment to speed up the process and streamline, if not just reduce, the requirements for applicants of franchises. The LTFRB also said it will see what it can do with the documents required by banks, which is a major deterrent in securing franchises for many applicants. But while franchises are being processed, the LTFRB said it cannot stop apprehending colorum TNVS units.
Pwede po bang pagbigyan niyo muna kami ngayon kahit ilang buwan? Wala muna tayong hulihan ngayon.
If we're going to take that rule, then we're going to set that rule for everybody.
Hindi po.
Ang ibig sabihin po nito, wala na tayong anti-colorum for several months. Otherwise, anong masasabi namin doon sa mga nangongolorum na iba?
LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgra also stood firm against the accreditation of hatchbacks as TNVS units, citing stipulations in the 2015 department order that governs TNVS operations. He said he cannot simply allow all hatchback units to operate, especially those that are not part of a master list created in 2017.
Sino ba ang gumawa niyan? Uber at saka Grab. Babalikan namin sila kung ganon. Bakit nag-accredit pa rin sila ng mga units outside of the master list? Malaking problema yan sinasabi nyo. Inaayos natin yung problema. Pinapalaki patuloy. That's what happened to Uber. That's why they
simply allow all hatchback units to operate, especially those who were happy to have had a dialogue but not necessarily satisfied with the outcome.
Nagkaroon ng paliwanagan, pero marami pa rin katanungan na dapat sagutin.
TNVS groups were asked to submit a position paper regarding the use of hatchbacks as TNVS. They will wait for the LTFRB's directives that would make it easier for them to secure franchises that would eventually enable them to operate legally. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
Step aside beauty queens, Mutya ng Pilipinas is now eyeing to produce top models. That's after the beauty pageant secured the franchise of the World Top Model in Milan. The winning top model will be sent to Italy to prepare her for the grand stage of the Top Model of the World competition in Monaco in December. But beauty queens or beauty queen hopefuls don't need to worry, as Mutya assures that the existing crowns won't be affected by the sudden change. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.